Blind date on Christmas Eve. The poor single dad arrived late, but the billionaire waited anyway. I arrived 34 minutes late. Snow clung to my coat like guilt, melting slowly under the restaurant's golden light. Christmas Eve had turned the city soft and quiet, but my world felt anything but. My daughter had stood at the door crying, begging me not to leave her with the babysitter. "Daddy, don't go tonight." I still hear it. Her voice followed me across the street, through the revolving doors, and into the warmth of the most expensive restaurant I'd ever stepped into. And there she was, sitting alone, waiting. The billionaire everyone whispered about. A woman carved from cold elegance and hidden storms. Isabella Hart. Her red dress seemed painted onto the scene, like the world was built around her, and I had walked in by mistake. But she looked up, right at me, like she knew me, like she'd been expecting me long before tonight. Her eyes didn't show annoyance, not even impatience, just recognition. And that's what shook me, because we had never met. At least, that's what I thought. She smiled, slow, deliberate. "You finally made it," she whispered when I reached the table. "I was afraid you wouldn't come. Again. Again." The word lodged in my chest like a blade. I sat down, my pulse tightening. Something was wrong. Something in her tone, too familiar, too certain, made the air feel heavier. She wasn't surprised to see me. She was relieved, like this night meant something. Only she understood. And I realized this wasn't a blind date. It was something else. Something darker. Something I wasn't prepared for. She ordered for me without asking, like she had done it before, like she knew exactly what I liked. My throat tightened. "Have we met?" I whispered. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "You don't remember," she said softly, almost sadly. I expected that. She sipped her wine. Perfect posture. Perfect calm. My life had been chaos since my wife left, since I became a single dad, since I learned to survive with scraps of time and scraps of myself. But Isabella Hart looked at me as if she'd been watching the chaos from afar, studying it, studying me. Why me? I didn't mean to ask out loud. Her fork paused midair. "You really don't know?" she said. There it was again. Familiarity wrapped in disappointment. A storm tightened in my gut. "I was told this was a blind date," I said. "It is." Her voice was too gentle. "Just not for me." Her words were landmines, each one threatening to detonate my sanity. She knew something I didn't, something she wasn't saying. She leaned forward, eyes locked onto mine with a softness that felt like a trap. "I know you're a single father. I know what you survived. I know what you lost." Her gaze sharpened. "And I know what you don't remember." My fingers curled under the table. "What don't I remember?" Her lips parted, but she didn't answer. She only watched me, like she was waiting for me to break open on her own, like she didn't need to reveal the truth, because the truth was already inside me. Married, rotting, waiting. She looked at me with a mix of affection and something else, something dangerous. "You were late tonight," she said quietly. "Just like last time." Last time. 2 words that ripped the ground out from under me. There was no last time. Not in my memory. But in hers, there was. And suddenly I wasn't sure what scared me more. That she knew something I didn't, or that she wanted me to remember it. The night didn't feel like a date anymore. It felt like a test. Every time she looked at me, I felt exposed, like she saw more of me than I had ever shown anyone, like she knew what I feared, what I regretted, what I wished I could forget. I excused myself and walked to the washroom. My hands trembled at the sink. Why did she know me? Why did she say again? Why did she look at me like she carried a secret with my name on it? I splashed cold water on my face, but cold didn't call me. Cold reminded me of something else, something that felt like a half-remembered nightmare. A snowy night, a woman crying, a hand slipping from mine, a voice I couldn't place whispering, "I'll find you." No, that wasn't my memory. It couldn't be.
I took a breath, forced myself back to the table. She watched me sit down. "You're shaking," she observed softly. I swallowed. "I need to know the truth." She tilted her head. "And if it hurts?" I hesitated. "Tell me anyway." Her eyes softened, but her voice remained calm, controlled, too controlled. "Before we talk about the past," she said, "you should know something about the present." She slid a folder across the table. My name was on it. Hands cold. I opened.
Photos, documents, screenshots, phone records, all about my ex-wife. The woman who walked out of me, the woman who abandoned our daughter, the woman who told me she never loved me. Isabella watched me, silent, still, dangerous. "She's been lying to you," Isabella said. My pulse froze. "She didn't leave because of stress," Isabella whispered. "She left because she's been living a second life behind your back." My vision thinned at the edges. More pages, more pictures. My ex-wife, her business trips, her friends, her nights away, her secret accounts. "She never loved you, Daniel," she said, voice like a scalpel. "She used you. She used your daughter, and she was planning to take custody the moment she found the right lawyer." My heart cracked open. "But why?" My voice broke. "Why do you have all this?" Now she looked away, and that scared me more than anything. "Because," she whispered, "this isn't the first time I've saved you." My blood iced. Saved me? From what? And when? The pieces were forming. Slow, painful, inevitable. And I was terrified of the picture they would create. "Tell me," I whispered. She breathed in. Slow, controlled, almost reluctant. "You don't remember me," she said. "But I remember you." My chest tightened. "We met 11 years ago," she continued. "Christmas Eve. Just like tonight." "No, I would remember that. Wouldn't I? You were younger, hurt, lost, running from a life falling apart. Something flickered in my mind. Snow, a dim street light, a woman kneeling next to me, while I sat against a brick wall, bleeding from a fight I don't remember starting. You passed out before you learned my name, she said. You told me things you don't remember telling anyone. My throat closed. I stayed with you, she whispered, until dawn. My breath shattered, and when you disappeared the next morning, she exhaled, eyes trembling for the first time. I spent years wondering why you never came back. Her voice dropped to a whisper, sharp enough to cut skin. When I found your ex-wife's online records by accident, I recognized the last name. I recognized the city. And then I realized. She paused. I had found you again. My fingers went numb. So you investigated me? I asked. She didn't deny it. She didn't flinch. Yes. Cold honesty. No apology. I needed to know why you forgot me, she said softly, and if the man who cried in my arms that night still existed. The truth settled like ice in my lungs. She wasn't a stranger. She wasn't a coincidence. She had been looking for me. For years. And when she found the broken pieces of my life, she collected every one of them. Alone. In silence. In shadows. For me. For a man who didn't even remember her. Her vulnerability died suddenly, replaced by steel. I know everything now, Daniel, she whispered. Everything she did to you. Everything she took from you. Her eyes darkened. And everything you forgot about me. She slid another envelope across the table. Thicker. Heavier. Inside. Custody evaluations. Screenshots of my ex-wife's messages to a lawyer. Financial proof of her manipulation. And one more thing. A document that showed she forged my signature on a loan that ruined my credit years ago. My hands shook. She did this. I whispered. All of this. Yes, Isabella said quietly. And she planned to do worse. I felt hollow, disbelieving. But then, Isabella leaned closer. Her voice became ice.
everything you needed to HR. Their HR. Her company's HR. My eyes widened. She's being investigated, Isabella continued. She will lose her job, her reputation, her leverage, her custody claims. Why? I asked. Why are you doing this for me? She stared at me. Her voice trembled. Not with fear, but with truth. Because you once told me you had nothing left to lose. She swallowed. And I couldn't let that be true. Silence swallowed the space between us. A heavy, fragile silence. Then she said something colder than winter snow. She heard the man I've been searching for 11 years. Her gaze hardened. I won't let her hurt you again. Suddenly, everything felt too loud, too sharp. The clinking glasses, the distant piano, the pulse in my throat. She reached out, her fingers barely brushing mine. I didn't come tonight to fall in love, she whispered. I came to give you back the life she stole from you. Her touch felt like fire and frost at the same time. And now, she said quietly, you finally know who I am. Walking out of the restaurant felt like walking out of my old life. Snow fell harder now, coating the city in a cold, indifferent silence. But I felt calm, not healed, not happy, just steady. A steady I hadn't felt in years. Isabella walked beside me without speaking. She didn't reach for my hand again, didn't force walk